Hi guys, and welcome to the next video in my Photoshop Basics series. Today we're going to go through a tutorial about using the pen tool as well as clipping masks. So to start with, you need to have two things set up in Photoshop. You need to have one blank new file. Mine is set to 760 pixels across, 900 down, and that suits my blog size. Yours might be different, so you might need to change that. The other thing is you need an image, a pretty image preferably. I found this really pretty one of flowers off Pinterest, and I'll put the link below to the pinboard I found it from. But I thought this one was really pretty, and you'll see how I'm going to use it in a couple of different ways. So to start with, we're going to use the pen tool to grab or capture the outline of the bunch of flowers. So we need to go over here to our pen tool, make sure you've just got the regular pen tool selected. And if you've read through above, you'll know that by clicking anywhere on the image, we're dropping an anchor point. So I'm going to drop my first anchor point down around here, and then continually bring them around the outside of this bunch of flowers. Now it does take some time, just be patient. You'll notice that I'm putting them right in the corners there. It makes it easier when it comes to the next step. There you go. So the last click will be right back in that original anchor point that you made when you first started. The next thing we're going to do is go in with our convert point tool, click on our first anchor point, and that'll reactivate those for us. Then we're going to drag it out so we get these handlebars, and we can change the shape of these points. Now you won't need to do it for all of them. Some of them will need to be a bit more curved so that we don't have that jagged edge. Now again, you'll need to be patient for this because it can take some time, and it all depends on the complexity of the image that you've chosen as well. Alright, so we're nearly finished using our convert point tool. You'll notice that I didn't include the vase. You can if you want to. I just decided not to. So now that we're happy with how that's all looking there, if we go and make a new layer over on our layers panel here, and then if we turn off the background layer, we'll see this anchor point path around the outside. And if you remember what I said above, that this is just the path telling Photoshop what to do. You haven't told it to give it any colour or to give it any shape yet, it's just the work path, and we can see work path here. What we're going to do now is we're going to tell Photoshop that we want to make that a shape. Now the way that we do that is we make sure that our foreground colour is the colour that we want it to be. I'm going to select my foreground colour as this nice kind of dusky pink colour there. So I've got that selected using my colour picker tool. And then I'm going to come over here and right click somewhere on the path and we're going to say fill path. Now if we just went stroke path, it would just make an outline, but we're going to fill it. Select foreground colour from the drop down menu here, go OK. You notice it makes this shape for us here. Now we don't want to keep those anchor points around the outside of the image, so we go into our work path and paths here, and we're going to drag that down to our trash and we'll delete it. So you notice that we turn off our background image here, we've just got this shape here. And you'll see what I'm going to do with it in a minute. Okay, so for now we're going to turn off this layer 1. So we've just got this background image here below. What we're going to do now is go over into our blank Photoshop file and we're going to put some text in. I'm going to just use plain old Helvetica text. I'm going to make it bold and 72 point. I'm going to drag out a text box and then I'm going to start typing. Doesn't really matter what my foreground colour is here or what my colour my text is going to be, as you'll see in a minute, but you can have it set to whatever colour you'd like. Now I saw an image on Pinterest the other day that I really liked that had this saying, so I'm going to use that. Sorry, I'm going to use caps lock for that. My computer's lagging a bit there, but that's alright. And got that bit. Yep, so I'm happy with that. Just going to drag that down because I want it down here at the bottom. Alright, now we're going to come over back into our vase of flowers file, and we're going to select and copy part of this image to take back over to our other file. So the way that we do that is we select our rectangular marquee tool up here next to the move tool, and we're just going to drag a box around about where the flowers are. Let go, that selects us. We can either go edit copy, or we can just go Control C, and that copies what we've got selected. We can come over here to where our text is, Control V, sorry, I didn't do that, but what you've got to make sure is that your background layer or your photo layer is the layer that's selected, otherwise it won't copy anything. So we've copied that again, go back over into our text layer, Control V, paste, there we go, there's our flowers. So we're going to make this bigger so that it's about the same size as the text. The way that we do that is go Command or Control T, and that's our transform tool. And that brings up these handlebars so that we can then resize the image. Now you will notice, as I was talking above about the differences between JPEG and vectors, or sorry, bitmap and vector images, this is a bitmap image. You'll notice when I drag it out and make it bigger, it does lose some of its quality. It's not such an issue for us here, but in other circumstances it might be. Once you've got it to about the same size, hit return or enter, and that removes the transform handlebars. So you'll be able to see the text underneath if you drag it out, but it'll sit right on top of it. Then we're going to go here to our layers panel. Make sure your photo layer is the top layer. Right click, and we're going to add a clipping mask. And magic, look what that does. It basically takes away all of the image that doesn't match up with the text layer underneath. So all we can see is the text as if it was a cutout, and we can see the photo behind it. Next we're going to come here into this image again here, turn our shape layer back on, and we're going to copy this shape to bring over to our file. So we're going to go Control, hold down Command or Control and click on the thumbnail of layer 1, and then we're going to Control C to copy it, back over to this file, Control V, and that pastes it. Okay, so you'll notice that I could have taken more time with this. We've got lots of jagged edges around here. But you can always go in with an eraser. I'm not going to do too much of that now, just because it's just really just a demonstration of how to use the pen tool, but you can smooth up some of the edges if you'd like. I'm going to come back over into this file here. Control click to make this a selection. Turn our photo layer back on. Make sure our background layer is selected. Control C to copy. And it's not going to copy this top file layer here for us. It's going to copy the image below. Control V. And then you'll notice that it's pasted it into the file here. And then we're going to Control T to make it smaller slightly. And then move it so that it lines up around about where. So we've got a pink, slightly pink border around the outside of the flower file. That's it. So when you're finished, all you need to do is go File and Save. Save it for whatever you want. And see you next time, guys. Bye.